going to move on into hockey. Hockey's something that we don't mention enough. Thank you, Jalen, for putting that trash on all of our screens. Screw you. Uh, but let's not talk about the Knights. Let's talk about one of the greatest hockey players of all time, in Alexander Ovechkin. Over the weekend, he finally reached 700 career goals with the goal against the New Jersey Devils. He joins just eight other people, or he's now top eight all time in scoring. Just seven other people have reached that 700 goal mark. He joins names such as Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Jaromir Jagr, Brett Hull, among other people. And now he's eighth in goals scored. And this is a more of a, I guess, one of the bigger hot takes and opinions I've had for the last couple of years now. But I believe if we're strictly just talking about a shooter and the talent is a shooter, I believe that Alexander Ovechkin is a better shooter than Wayne Gretzky.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna piss people off.
I will. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with pissing off Oiler fans. I'm okay with pissing off the Kings fans. And also just old hockey fans. I'm okay with this. Alexander Ovechkin is a better shot than Wayne Gretzky ever was. If you had Wayne Gretzky playing in today's league, he'd be good. Of course, he'd be one of the top players. But if you had Alexander Ovechkin going back into the Wayne Gretzky's era, when the goalies weren't good, when they were trying to get like a 750 save percentage, now in the modern day, if you get less than a 920, you're bad. So
Yeah.
if he went back, he would pick these goals apart. He would destroy them. And I can't say the same thing about Wayne Gretzky. I don't think Wayne Gretzky would be as good as Alexander Ovechkin in the modern day hockey.
I say Ovechkin is definitely probably a more efficient scorer than Wayne Gretzky was.
Yes, at least we can agree with that. All I know is that Ovechkin is a sniper, and big congrats to him for making it to the 700 goal mark. Obviously, he's going to have a lot more. He did more than he did. He scored in more than just hockey. Him and his wife announced that they're having a second kid. So congrats on the sex.
Wow, nice transition, Ross.
Good for him.
She guessed one way to put it. That's...
Another big time hockey thing that happened over the last week is that we had the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, and that of course is when the young college, the U.S. national team made up of college players went out and beat the Red Menace in one of the peaks of the Cold War. This game wasn't just a hockey game. This was probably the biggest political sports game in the history of sports. This game it wasn't the U.S. hockey team against the USSR hockey team. This was America against Russia. This was capitalism versus communism. This was democracy versus an authoritarian regime. And this game inspired hundreds and thousands of people. Not to be more patriotic, but this is a game that inspired the next generations of Olympic skaters for the U.S. team. And this was one of the greatest sports moments. I think this is my favorite sports moments of all time. And it was just a remarkable game. Great movie, by the way, too.
Yeah, I was say hell of a movie.
Great movie. For a amazing sports moment. And God bless those players as we beat the hell out of those dirty communists.
And they were hosted by the Vegas Golden Knights, by the way.
Hey, Jalen, I'm sick of you. We had this good patriotic thing going. Then you bring the trash is the Vegas Knights. Okay, no, we don't need that kind of negativity on this show.
We don't need your negativity and your 0-3 streak coming into our podcast.
The Sharks suck, and I'm okay with it because it's the only thing I can do to stop myself from crying every night.
High draft pick.
Yeah, hey, they got number one draft pick this year for Barclay Goodrow. Congrats to them. Let's move away from that. This whole trade.
That sounded like a really sad sigh.
I'm surprised you could tell. How about a better hockey story? Over the weekend, we had a very rare instance of emergency goalie playing in a NHL game. So for those that don't know, each team has their starting goalie. then they have their backup goalie on the bench. But in rare instances, like what happened for the Hurricanes this weekend, they have an emergency goalie. So each team, all 31 teams, have an emergency goalie that is normally like a member of faculty or staff, and they work at the arena for the games. And so if one team's starting goalie goes out and their backup goalie goes out, very rare, but they'll bring in this emergency goalie. They're not expected to really do much because they're like beer league hockey players, retired players, and stuff like that. They're expected pretty much just to be a placeholder. In
Yeah.
this instance, we have 42-year-old Zamboni driver David Aries make some big time plays for the Carolina Hurricanes against the Maple Leafs in Toronto. This was a guy that was getting ready to get on the Zamboni for the first intermission, go make the ice all good. Then he started getting texts from his friends and stuff like that saying, "You're up," and
It's a great way to find out.
right,
See,
but
see, that's one positive way of using social media to find out something before you're told.
okay, let's not get into that because that was awful.
Yeah.
I hope everyone probably knows what we're talking about. I don't want to get into that. That's not a good look for anyone a part of that. Media sucks. We can all agree on that. But this is a guy that stepped in with over 20. He was in the game for over 28 minutes. He took 10 shots. He let the first two go in though. But to be fair, the first shot got in. That was a hard shot. He was screened. It would take a great goalie to make that save anyway. The second shot was off a rebound. It would take the best goalie in the league, such as Marc-Andre Fleury. He could probably make that save. So I don't blame him for laying the first two, but then he made 8 solid saves over the next 20 minutes, and he was the first star of the night, and he was now the oldest player or the oldest goalie to win a game in NHL history. So all around, that's one hell of a story.
Beautiful to see.
I think one of my favorite parts about this is that the Canes are now selling shirts with his name and number on it, and half the royalties go to him, then half the royalties go to a organization of his choice.
Nice.
Great move by the Hurricanes all
Great
around.
move.
Yeah, a guy that's a Zamboni driver comes into a game and wins it for you. You give him some royalties on some T-shirts.
Oh, please. I think he ended up donating to. I think it was some organ. I think it was a cancer organization.
Hell yeah.
But great for him, man.